Jessica. I'm a librarian here at Warren Newport Public Library. Today I'm going to talk about Into the Water by Paula Hawkins. You may find Paula Hawkins' name familiar because she was the author of The Girl on the Train, which was recently on the bestseller list, and then it was made into a movie. So The Girl on the Train was sort of a thriller, and it was interesting because the characters weren't very likable. None of the characters in the book were likable. And this book is very similar. None of the characters in this book do you really relate to or sympathize with, which is very interesting. But I feel like what Paula Hawkins does, and does well, is by making the characters not likable, it forces the reader to examine the story deeper. So being a character-driven reader, I sometimes struggle with these type of books. Like, you know, can I still continue with it even though I don't like these characters at all? But I really appreciate the way that Paula Hawkins does this, and I did enjoy this book. It's the story of, we start with Jules, and Jules gets word that her sister Nell has died. And she thinks to herself, well, you've done it now. She's pretty sure that Nell has committed suicide. She goes back to their hometown, which is where Nell and her daughter still live, and Jules and Nell haven't had any contact for a very long time. As a matter of fact, Jules has never met her niece Lena, who's about 14 years old at this point. So she and Lena sort of have this rocky introduction, and neither one of them are particularly interested in getting to know the other. But there starts this sort of investigation about what happened to Nell exactly. Of particular interest is the fact that in the town is something, sort of like a swimming hole or like a little pond, and above the swimming hole is a cliff. And many teenagers would go cliff jumping off there into the pool. And but what's interesting is many women have died there over the years, 7, I think. And Nell, in particular, had a big interest in this swimming hole. She started writing about the swimming hole and about the women who had died there. And she was sort of like maybe trying to connect dots about who had died there, why they had died there, how they had died there, and doing her own investigating. So as the reader, we kind of see this mystery happening where Nell was looking into all these murders that were suspicious, and now she has died in the same fashion. It's an interesting book. It's a good page turner. You're not going to like any of the characters, but I think you'll like the book Into the Water by Paula Hawkins.